Hi everyone, and welcome to yet another Transformers review. And as you can already tell here, I got a haircut. Yeah. But anyways, for today's review, we are going to be taking a look, well, like I already said from the beginning, a Transformer, but this Transformer that we're going to be reviewing is a Transformer that does not transform. Now some Transformers fans don't actually like Transformer figures that don't transform, but there are some who do. I actually do like some of the non-Transformers figures that don't transform. Like, I don't really mind having Transformers figures that don't transform. But for today's Transformer review, we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Revoltech Starscream here. So, let's head over to the review area and check this guy out. Stay tuned. So here we are at the reviewing area, and here we have Starscream here in front of the camera here. And as you can see, this version of Starscream is based on his G1 appearance here. The one from the Generation 1 Transformers cartoon that came out in the 1980s. But also, this version of Starscream here it is based on his Dreamwave Transformers comic book appearance here. The reason why I said that is because now the Transformers robot characters from the Dreamwave comic books that came out in the early 2000s do have that like chunky design to them, and also kind of that misproportion look. And this is like one of them here. And Dreamwave was, like I already told y'all, a comic book company, but it is a short-lived series. In other words, the company Dreamwave went bankrupt. And from what I remembered, I think they started making comics from 1999 until 2004, when they started getting bankrupt. Yeah. But on to the figure here. Well, first, let's get a closer look here. So, as you can see, he is the traditional Starscream color schemes, which is the red, gray, and blue here. From top to bottom, and turning him from the sides here. He's just the traditional G1 Starscream colors here. He even does have the Decepticon symbols here on both wings, which are upside down. He even has the ones you could see here on the other side here, which are also upside down. He even has the little turbine chests here, which are painted in silver and black, and he does have the orangish, yellowish painted cockpit here, formed from his chest. And on his face here, if I can zoom in here, on his face here, he does have his little smirk here, which you can see there. And he does have some red painted in eyes here. And and he does have some like gunmetal gray paint on these little vent things on his shoulders here. And of course you do got his little null rays on his arms, like he always has. And some little jet thrusters that he always has on the bottom of his feet. And that's about it. Just not much else to him. Except, like you already heard from the intro, he does not transform. Because he's an action figure who does not transform. But being he is part of the Revoltech series. Now, if you don't know what the Revoltech series is, where this figure is from, the Revoltech series is a series that makes action figures using joints that are from, I am gonna have to remove one of his legs here so I can show y'all what a Revoltech joint is. And you can kind of see it there. If I can. There we go. So, but like I said, the way Revoltech makes the joints for their figures is by these joints here. Which, as you can see, you do have two pegs on both sides here that you can have it rotate here and here. And like y'all heard, it does have a joint, which is, like you heard, on a ratchet, which can move up and down. Just like that. And now, I'm gonna reattach his leg back on. Now, it is a good joint, don't get me wrong. But the problem I have with the Revoltech joints is that it's not good on every joint. Because putting it on every joint of the Revoltech figures does make the articulation kind of meh. Like, kind of weird. Now, this Starscream here is an older Revoltech figure, which came out in the early 2000s, which was the same years the Dreamwave Transformers comics came out in. But the newer Revoltech figures that we have today do still make those ratcheted Revoltech joints. But for the newer Revoltech figures that they're making today, they are now putting some ball joints on them to make them a little better. So I guess you can say this is like before they figured out not to put a lot of Revoltech joints on their figures here. Like this one here does. Because this older Revoltech figure that came out in the early 2000s does have a lot of Revoltech joints. Like the joints you're about to hear on this figure is all Revoltech joints, where it has that clicking sound that you heard from that little Revoltech joint. And speaking of the articulation, let's get into that. So the head does move, but not quite. I mean, it does move, but the way it moves I mean, you can get it moving side to side for no problems, but you do have to kind of maneuver the Revoltech joint a little more so that his head could look better when you're moving it side to side, because it is on that Revoltech joint. But it can look up and down for no problems. Arms can rotate up and down because, of course, the wings and these things do hinder it. But they can move in and out on that Revoltech joint. But they only move out about there because these things do hinder it. And these null rays do also rotate. And if you want to, you can like take the null rays and remove them. And it's just on a peg and hold if you want to remove these null rays and display him without them. Bend at the elbows on a Revoltech joint, swivel at the elbows, hand swivel, he does have an ab crunch on that Revoltech joint. And he can only arch about there. Also, if I remove his torso, and if I do kind of swivel the Revoltech joint sideways so that the joint is facing side to side, you can kind of have his torso move side to side if you want to. And this is why I said some of the Revoltech joints on some of these figures are not great on everything, because the torso, to me, could have easily been a ball joint to me, but that's just my opinion. Same goes for the hips here, because The hips, which are the legs, do move forward and back, but they don't move in and out. Which means you will have to remove the leg, rotate the Revoltech joint this way, so the joint is facing side to side, so you can have his legs move side to side. But they don't move forward and back anymore. And that, again, could have easily been a ball joint to me. But he does bend at the knee on that Revoltech joint. And the feet do move up and down on that Revoltech joint. And you two kind of have a little bit of an ankle pivot. Just a little bit. Because it is really limited of an ankle pivot. And that's it. And he does come with some accessories. First off, he does come with some interchangeable hands. So the ones that are on him are the closed fists. But you also get a pointing hand here. A like posed hand here. And a trigger holding hand, which is meant for the Megatron gun here. And yes, he does have a little Megatron gun here. And as you can see, it's just all casted in black and silver here. But it does not have like a tiny little printed in Decepticon symbol here on both sides. You can see here. But to have him hold it, you would take the little stock here and remove it off of this peg and this hole here, and take the trigger finger hand and slide it into here. Oh, yeah. This little scope thing does detach on mine. It's not supposed to come detach. It is supposed to be glued on, like stayed on there. But I will probably be getting some super glue to let this stay on. And just attach the stock on, and there you go. And swapping the hands, it is kind of tricky. Like, it is kind of fiddly to do. And I may need to do this off camera. Which I am gonna have to do. So I'll be right back. Okay. I got it on him. So, swapping the hands is kind of fiddly to do, but once you get the hang of it, you're good. And he does come with one more accessory, and that is you get this display stand here, which does come disassembled, when you get this out of the box here. And that is, this armature piece does come detach when you get this out of the box, so you will have to attach it on. And it's just a tab and hole that attaches together. And you do get the little Revoltech joint here that can move up and down, and you can rotate it all the way around. And this peg goes on a hole here, so you can have like Starscream into some flying poses if you want to. Just like that. Or if you can see here on the display stand, there is a peg here that goes into some holes on the bottom of his feet here. This hole and this hole to this tab here. If you want to. So you do have some options. And that is it for Revoltech Starscream. So, I guess we'll be right back with our final thoughts here. So, there you have the Revoltech Starscream. Overall, he is still a pretty cool little action figure for its time. But like I said, this is an older Revoltech figure from the early 2000s. And it still does look good in today's time. From when the figure came out in. And also newer Revoltech figures today do still make the Revoltech joints, but they're now replacing some of the Revoltech joints with ball joints so that some of their joints could move a little better, and not just putting a lot of, like, all the Revoltech joints on them, like this one here does. But some of the Revoltech joints that could have easily been a ball joint to me are the hips and the torso. And even the shoulder joints, and maybe the neck where the head is connected to. But that's just my opinion. But everything else about this figure looks really good. From its time when it first came out, and also in today's time. So I think that is about it. So there you have the Revoltech Starscream. And if you like this video, give me a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel. So I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.